Feelings are not facts. Feelings are temporary, but your feelings will determine what you do, and so they create your reality. So how are you feeling? And why are you feeling that way? It's time to become a new you, mentally, emotionally well. Let the shit go. Shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers. Reclaim your power. When you don't know who you are, you give others the power to define you. What others think about you doesn't matter. What you think and say about yourself creates who and what you are. Ready to activate the power within you? Let's go. Now don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And go ahead right now and click that notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. So last week, we talked about the mask and removing the mask and honoring your feelings and being aware of your feelings and being aware of your thoughts, right? So let's expound a little bit more this week into feelings. Where do your feelings come from? Well, if you caught last week's episode, then you will remember I said your feelings are an extension of your thoughts. And if you didn't catch last week's episode, go ahead and click right here or in the description box so that you can watch last week's video, okay? Because it's important for you to understand that your feelings are an extension of your thoughts. And if you have control over your thoughts, then you have control over your feelings. And your feelings are not facts. Because you feel a certain way, that doesn't mean that it's set in stone. That doesn't mean that it's factual. It is temporary. Why? Because you have control over your feelings. You can change your feelings at any time. If the way that you're feeling is not in alignment with what you want to be creating or what you choose to experience, then know today that you can control your feelings. If you don't like it, you can change it. You get to choose your feelings. But it's important to identify how you're feeling, and it's important to honor your feelings. It's important to be real with that. It's important to be honest with that. How are you feeling? And more importantly, why are you feeling that way? Well, if your feelings are an extension of your thoughts, you're feeling what you're feeling because your thoughts are creating the feeling you're feeling. That might have been a little bit confusing. Let me dumb it down. Let me simplify it. You are feeling what you're feeling because you're thinking what you're thinking. It's that simple. But understanding how you're feeling what you're feeling and why you're feeling what you're feeling is important because your feelings will always determine what you do. Think, consider, internalize. Internalization, it becomes a belief. Your beliefs create your truths, and your truths create your actions. Yes, you are the master of your fate. Yes, you are the captain of your soul. Yes, you are a co-creator in your reality. Yes, you are on some level, whether by default or intention, creating everything that you're experiencing. And if everything that we experience is an extension of our thoughts, if everything that we feel is an extension of our thoughts, then we have to do what the scripture says. I love this particular scripture. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation can only come about through a renewal of mindset. If you're not aware of what you're thinking, then you're living your life in default. You know, people sometimes say, well, I just thought without acting. That's not possible. You might act on the split second after you have the thought, but the thought always precedes the action because you act as a result of whatever it is that you're thinking. So being aware of your thoughts is key when it comes to understanding your feelings, because your feelings are coming from your thoughts and you get to choose the way that you feel. But you cannot choose the way that you feel without first being aware of what it is that you're thinking. So you have to confront and you have to question how you feel. Don't just take a feeling at face value. Don't just feel like you have to deal with the way that you feel. Now, I'm going to be honest with you about something. Sometimes it's important for you to process the way that you feel. It's important for you to honor the way that you feel. It's important for you to feel what you're feeling. Don't ignore your feelings. But again, be willing to get to the root cause of the feeling. you know, I say that we all deal with shit. We all have shit on some level: shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers. And in order to be able to erase the shit, the shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers, we have to face the shit. But our feelings are going to come from the shame, the hurt, the insecurities, and the triggers. And if you've been experiencing a lot of the same things in your life, you know, particularly as it pertains to relationships, then it's time for you to really come face to face with why you're creating what you're creating. If you have the same feelings in relationships on a regular basis, then you need to confront, you need to acknowledge, you need to identify, confront, identify, and acknowledge. You got to become a CIA, right? In your own stuff. You have to confront, identify, and acknowledge where your shit is coming from, but more importantly, how to get rid of it, because your shit is creating your feelings. A lot of people look at me now and they think I'm so happy-go-lucky, and yeah, I am. I really do enjoy my life. I really do love my life. I am a joyful person, and I would say 90% of the time, maybe 85% of the time, I am smiles, I am giggles, I am laughter, I am joy. But again, everybody got shit that they deal with, right? And everybody got thoughts that just pop up. And I am a random thinker. Don't believe me, ask my children. They always call me random. I'm very random, and thoughts just pop up. But I'm so grateful that I have learned how to manage my thoughts. I'm so grateful that I have learned how to become aware of it. But I was a person, I dealt with depression for a long time, and I was a functioning depressed person. I would venture to say, a closet depressed person, because, you know, when you're considered to be the strong one in your family or in your circle, it's unspoken, but you're really not given permission to be depressed. You're really not given permission to be sad. I remember when my sister was tragically killed in a car accident at 29 years old. I was 31 at the time. And I went from being this joyful, you know, very vivacious, vibrant, happy, strong, supporting and encouraging everybody person to pissed and angry and sad and depressed and dark. And I'll never forget, I was working somewhere at the time, and the person who owned the business said to me, you know, you're just so unhappy and you're so angry and everybody's talking about it. My sister had been killed in a car accident, y'all. But listen, I said, and excuse me, I'm about to cuss because I'm going to be transparent with you. I said, I don't give a about what people think about how I'm acting. I was in such a dark place. I was in such a painful place. And I recognized in that moment, shit, sometimes it's a curse to be a strong person. But what I realized was I wasn't reaching out for help. I wasn't asking for what I needed in that moment. I wasn't expressing my feelings because I just really didn't know. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how to express it. And there was an aspect of me that was scared to express it because I was scared once I started expressing it, I wouldn't be able to stop, and I didn't know where that path was going to lead me to. And so I, felt like I needed to keep everything in. And it wasn't good because I got sick in my body. I was diagnosed with mitral valve prolapse because I started just passing out, just passing out, with no warning. And I was also diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was in a lot of physical pain, but it's because I was in a lot of emotional pain. And, my sister's passing really led me on a path of discovery. And so I'm grateful for that experience because that experience was a big part of why I do what I do now and how I do what I do now. And it gave me a deeper appreciation of how everything is connected. When you're a person of purpose, when you're on a particular path and a particular journey, which I believe that we all are, when you are pursuing purpose, there are certain things that have to happen that support you in moving towards your purpose. And my sister's death was a big part of moving me towards my purpose. And so everything is purposeful. And next week, I want you to join me for Soul Therapy Saturdays because I'm going to be diving into grief a little bit deeper, okay? But in the meantime, let's continue this conversation over in the Soul Therapy Saturdays group on Facebook. In order to be able to join in on that conversation, click the link in the description box and we're going to continue the conversation over there, okay? But if you're struggling with feelings and you need some help processing, then give yourself the opportunity to get the help that you need. I am committed to supporting you on your mental and emotional wellness journey. And so if you need some help being able to work through your feelings, then go ahead right now and click the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website where you can schedule a consultation with me. But in the meantime, don't forget, if you desire it, if you desire something different, if you desire something more, if you desire something better, then you do deserve it. And if you deserve it, then that means that you